A woman is accusing Sean Diddy Combs of drugging and raping her when she was 16 years old in 2000.
In the meantime, let's go back to New York City. Want to get some updates on the case that is unfolding there regarding Sean Diddy Combs.
Imagine this, a story so unbelievable that even Hollywood wouldn't dare script it. One of the most powerful figures in the entertainment world, Sean Diddy Combs, a mogul whose empire spans music, fashion, and influence, suddenly finds himself facing the ultimate betrayal, and not from a rival or a business partner, but from the one person he trusted above all others, his own mother, Janice Combs. Yes, you heard that right. The very woman he credited with shaping his success, the one who taught him loyalty and perseverance, is now at the center of a scandal so shocking it has everyone talking. Could it be that all along, she had her own hidden agenda?
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
Yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood being shopped.
Let's set the stage. Diddy, a larger-than-life figure, is used to being in control, whether it's running his multi-million-dollar record label, hosting extravagant events, or managing his sprawling business empire. But behind the scenes, his financial world has been crumbling. A recent FBI investigation into his assets uncovered a shocking revelation. Hundreds of millions of dollars had mysteriously vanished from offshore accounts and hidden holdings. And here's where things take an unexpected turn. Whispers in the industry began pointing fingers at someone no one would have suspected, his own mother, Janice Combs. For years, Janice has been a symbol of resilience in Diddy's life. She raised him after the tragic loss of his father, making countless sacrifices to ensure he had the education and opportunities that set him on the path to stardom. But as investigators dug deeper, the cracks in that perfect image began to show. Evidence suggested that Janice not only had access to Diddy's financial accounts, but may have been orchestrating secret transfers and withdrawals without his knowledge. Could it really be true? Could the woman who had stood by his side through every milestone have been quietly siphoning away his fortune for her own hidden agenda? Then came the final twist. Janice's sudden and unexplained disappearance from the United States. Just as the FBI was closing in on the source of the missing funds, she vanished without a trace. Sources close to the family claim she left in the dead of night, boarding a private jet to an unknown destination. The timing couldn't have been more suspicious. One day she was seen attending court hearings in support of her son. The next, she was gone. The industry buzzed with speculation. Was she fleeing to avoid questioning? Had this been her plan all along? And perhaps the most chilling question of all, what does she know about the allegations against Diddy?
My next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties.
To understand how we got here, you have to look beyond the glitz and glamour of the Combs family. On the surface, everything appeared picture perfect. The lavish events, the close-knit siblings, the public declarations of love. But behind the scenes, insiders have long hinted at underlying tensions. Diddy's meteoric rise to fame and fortune came at a cost, and not everyone in his inner circle was always on the same page. Some family members reportedly felt sidelined, their contributions to his success overlooked. Could this have been the spark that led to Janice's alleged betrayal? Did she believe she was entitled to a larger share of the empire her son built? Or was there something deeper at play? But the drama doesn't end there. Rumors began to swirl that Janice's actions weren't just about money. They were about control. As Diddy's legal troubles mounted, with allegations and lawsuits piling up, some began to wonder whether Janice had played a role in his downward spiral. Did she steer him towards self-destruction? Did she enable certain behaviors, turning a blind eye to the darker aspects of his lifestyle? Now, with her sudden disappearance, speculation is at an all-time high. Was her exit a desperate attempt to distance herself from the fallout, leaving her son to shoulder the blame while she starts over somewhere far away? The questions keep piling up, but one thing is certain: this story is far from over.
Another push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
Adding another layer of intrigue is the alleged fallout between Janice and other members of the Combs family. Sources close to the situation claim that in the months leading up to her departure, tensions reached a boiling point. Diddy's siblings and children reportedly confronted her about her access to the family's finances, questioning her true intentions. One insider described a particularly explosive family meeting where accusations flew, voices were raised, and Janice stormed out, refusing to answer questions. Was this the breaking point that led to her sudden departure? Now, with Janice gone, the family is left to pick up the pieces, grappling not only with the shocking allegations, but also with the deep betrayal of someone they once trusted implicitly. What happens next could change everything.
That's it. If it is privilege, of course they won't. But if it really is what the prosecution says that has nothing to do with the case, or even worse, it's actually evidence of witness tampering, because we all know the attorney-client privilege, there's a crime fraud exception. You can't use your lawyer to perpetuate a future or continuing fraud or crime. So if the documents are what the government says they are, they're going to get them again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of days, because I don't expect.
Janice has remained silent since her disappearance, but her past statements are now being scrutinized for hidden clues. In a recent interview, she spoke passionately about her son's resilience and her unwavering support for him. But in light of recent events, some are beginning to see her words differently. Was she carefully crafting an image of a devoted mother while secretly orchestrating a financial coup? And what about her public appearances at Diddy's court hearings, where she stood by his side? Was it a calculated move to deflect suspicion, or was she truly torn between loyalty to her son and her own hidden agenda? With so many unanswered questions, one thing is clear: there's more to this story than meets the eye.
Judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and sex trafficking case.
Perhaps the most shocking aspect of this scandal is the sheer scale of what's being alleged. This isn't about small, unnoticed withdrawals. The missing funds amount to a staggering portion of Diddy's billion-dollar empire. Money intended for business ventures, legal fees, and even his children's future has seemingly vanished without a trace. The idea that Janice could have accessed and redirected such vast sums without triggering alarms suggests a level of cunning and precision that has left even seasoned investigators stunned. How did she manage to pull this off? And perhaps the bigger question, was she acting alone, or did she have help?
Their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
The ripple effects of Janice's alleged actions extend far beyond the Combs family. Diddy's associates, employees, and business partners are scrambling to assess the damage. Contracts are being reviewed, partnerships are under scrutiny, and trust is in short supply. For a man who built his brand on loyalty and family values, this betrayal cuts deep. But the pressing question remains, can Diddy recover from this? Or will his own mother's actions be the ultimate undoing of the empire he spent decades building? As the investigation intensifies, attention is shifting to Janice's next move. Where did she go? And what is she planning? Some believe she's hiding out in a luxurious villa, living off the fortune she allegedly siphoned away. Others speculate she's laying low, waiting for the dust to settle before making her next move. Either way, her disappearance has left a trail of unanswered questions and a family in turmoil. And with Diddy's legal battles only heating up, the timing couldn't be worse.
Like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at
Okay.
a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotape.
The Combs family dynamics have always been complex, but this latest chapter takes things to a whole new level. The betrayal, the missing millions, the sudden escape, it's the kind of scandal made for tabloid headlines. But beneath the gossip and speculation lies a deeper story about trust, loyalty, and the lengths people will go to where they feel wronged. Whether Janice's actions were driven by greed, desperation, or something else entirely, one thing is certain: the Combs family will never be the same.
Frame is important because this happened in hotels, in places that have surveillance, that there's records that could be consistent with his testimony about when he alleges that these parties took place. He probably has his own information about who attended the events. When you're somebody like Sean Combs and you're such a celebrity and you're engaged in this type of behavior, people around you are memorializing it on their own.
And so, we're left with more questions than answers. Was this part of a grand scheme, or a desperate act by a mother trying to secure her own future? How much did Diddy really know about what was happening behind the scenes, and could he have stopped it? But perhaps the biggest question of all: what happens next? As legal battles intensify and family tensions reach a breaking point, one thing is certain: this story is far from over. Stay tuned, because the twists and turns are just beginning.
Combs get another shot with Judge Subramanian? Or what will be his likelihood of success in a different court? Because there's currently a pending appeal at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. So to get into all of this, I want to bring on former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani, friend of the show. Nima, thanks so much for coming on. First, before we even get into what he can do
now, let's dive deeper into the chaos surrounding Diddy's legal battles and what it all could mean for his future. If you thought the missing millions and his mother's sudden disappearance were shocking, just wait, because the storm brewing around Scene Diddy Combs is far from over. With lawsuits piling up, accusations coming from every direction, and the media dissecting his every move, one question looms large. Can Diddy survive this, or is his empire on the verge of crumbling under the weight of these allegations?
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointment.
First, let's talk about the latest claims against Diddy. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, new accusations keep surfacing, each more shocking than the last. This isn't just a handful of isolated incidents. It's a tidal wave of lawsuits and allegations from people who claim they were wronged by the music mogul. Some allege that Diddy used his power and influence to manipulate those around him, while others paint a picture of a man who let his wealth and untouchable status spiral out of control. And the most recent lawsuits. They're not just coming from former employees or business associates, but from individuals who claim to have witnessed his behavior firsthand. It's as if the walls are closing in, and everyone is stepping forward to have their say. Legal experts are weighing in, and their opinions are just as divided as the public's. Some believe the evidence is overwhelming, that Diddy's past has finally caught up with him, and there's no way he'll emerge unscathed. Others argue that the sheer volume of accusations could actually work in his favor, raising questions about whether some claims are exaggerated or opportunistic. When you're as polarizing as Diddy, it seems everyone has an opinion, and in the age of social media, the court of public opinion can be just as powerful as the legal one.